Welcome back. The body of a Princess Anne waterman has been recovered from Tangier Sound after he went overboard earlier this week. The man was identified as 58-year-old Ted Burdell of Princess Anne. Burdell's body was recovered by Maryland Natural Resource Police on Thursday afternoon. Officers located the body over 2 miles from his last known location. On Tuesday morning, officers responded to a man overboard call in Deal Island. Burdell's body was transported to the office of the chief medical examiner. The investigation into the incident is still ongoing. Police are investigating a shooting that occurred last night in Lincoln. According to authorities, troopers responded to the home on the 10,000 block of Cedar Creek Road for reports of shots fired. And when troopers arrived, they learned an unknown suspect fired several shots that hit an occupied house. No one was injured, and the incident remains under investigation. Anyone with information is urged to contact Delaware Crime Stoppers at 1-800-847-3333. Well, education enhancements are underway. Delaware State University announcing a partnership with the Milford Wellness Center to boost their healthcare workforce. WMDT's Tiara Williams has the story.
Senator Tom Carper, Delaware State President Tony Allen, and Dean Scott Jones all say that partnerships are possible.
We did it. We did it. You can clap. We were awarded $5 million with a performance period of 5 years.
After 3 years of planning, DSU partnered with Education Health Research Internationals for their geriatric initiative. Dean Gwendolyn Scott Jones says this is important because this area has a need to have healthcare workers for senior citizens.
We actually need to make sure that we take care of the individuals who may have some cognitive issues, health-related issues, more specifically dementia.
DSU President Tony Allen says that if it wasn't for the dean working with the rabbis, this partnership might not have happened. Now, the grant can help bring more resources to the school.
So as a part of this grant, we actually have transportation so they can come from Delaware State to the Wellness Village regularly and get the kind of, I think, world-class opportunities that they're looking for.
Also in attendance was Delaware Seniors U.S. Senator Tom Carper. He says this was not only a great step for DSU, but for Delaware as a whole.
There's a great partnership that's been formed here between Delaware State University and the youth with $5 million from the federal government, working here with this wellness center to be able to provide care for folks who are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old.
He shared that he turned 77 years old this year, and these type of initiatives help his community.
People like to come here, and they like to come in and retire. We want to make sure that when they retire, they have the kind of health care that they need to live long, healthy, happy lives.
Because local matters, Tiara Williams, WMDT.
School officials say the funds they have received will go a long way in furthering the education of so many young people in healthcare. And First State Educate is on a mission to help schools across Delaware with training initiatives. Delaware ranks in the bottom 10% of all states in reading and math in grades 4 through 8, and only 31% of students meet state standards for math. Now, the group calls this a crisis in public education, and First State Educate's Chief Strategy and Operations Officer Julia Kelleher says their mission is to help school boards with training to begin reform.
How do you set an effective agenda? How do you manage public comment? How do you respond to concerns from the public? How do you understand student achievement data? How do you write a policy?
And you can help First State Educate with a donation by visiting their website, firststateeducate.org. And now let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist Rich Wardzik with a look at your forecast.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Let's go right to it here for the weekend. Outside today just felt so much better than it has in so long. And it will be a stretch, not a long one, but a stretch of nice weather that will at least guide us through the weekend before we talk about humidity and rain and all that coming back for next week. Well, let's focus on the good for now. A very quiet, nice evening here in Rehoboth Beach. Morse Roofing and Siding Skycam as you're taking a live look out there. Our weather headline showing a very pleasant weekend. Locked down for nice weather tomorrow and Sunday, and then the humidity comes back. And then next week we'll call it unsettled, just like this past week, we get into that random chance of a shower or thunderstorm, and you get those slow movers, it can sometimes prompt some isolated flooding issues. So very similar type pattern that we'll be going back to next week. Dew points are great right now in the low to mid 60s. At one point they were in the upper 50s, kind of oscillating back and forth. Sometimes you get a little bit of a moisture change with just all the water surrounding, of course, the peninsula. But the idea is that an overall drier air mass is in place and working out nicely. And this is going to allow us to be much cooler tonight than we have been. Already dropping into the 60s in a lot of these spots here. Georgetown, Salisbury, and Cambridge, the first see the 60s. Ocean City will throw you in there too, 67. Easton at 70 and Dover still at 73. But if you look at the larger picture here, the front that moved through is stuck down there near the Outer Banks, but it's not moving north anytime soon, or at least the boundary between the dry air and the humid air. High pressure is to our north and west, which is a good position to have it in because the past couple weeks, as you know, and we've been seeing me out here, we've talked about the Bermuda high out here. Anytime the high is off to our south and east, it's a warm weather maker. In this situation, it brings us the cooler air. So it's all about proximity where you are near these weather systems. So working out in our favor for the next couple of days. So switching gears just briefly and something to think about for tomorrow, and I just point this out in case you notice it. There could be some wildfire smoke moving through, and this is from the wildfires out west. And some of this coming through in the mid and high levels here. So maybe a plume of that smoke moving in and then moving out. This is not like we had last summer with the Canadian wildfires. It's not going to be an air quality issue, just something you might notice. So just want to show you that just in case you might notice that. Okay, so over the weekend, there's going to be this storm off the coast. Remember proximity I was telling you about? It's going to be in the perfect spot for us, because I don't expect this to bring any problems here for the weekend, but it's going to reinforce that northerly flow that's keeping us so comfortable, and we'll start to see some issues, maybe with a couple of those showers moving in Monday that you saw there from that storm system, but the humidity will continue to go up with that as well. Tonight's forecast is a comfortable one in the 60s. Plenty of sun for tomorrow, a warm and nice day overall. And how about that? The skeeter meter is actually down a level from extreme to very high as we go into the weekend there. There's your 7-day forecast. Chance of a couple showers on Monday with that system off the coast. And then, Brandon, we're looking at just your typical shower and thunderstorm chances Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Warm and humid, but nothing out of the ordinary, let's just say.
All right, thanks, Rich. Stick around. The Gulls football schedule has been released. We'll go over the key games on that schedule coming up next.
Hi, I'm Brock Keeler with Salisbury University Football, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.